Phillies hope to find an answer to their tough travels with happiness at home. The 10-day stay commences with a visit from the struggling Atlanta Braves, but finishes with back-to-back challenges from the Cubs and the Nationals, who are in the final push to reach the postseason. Well, for a lot of kids in the area, it's a quick respite from a few days of school. Labor Day is a celebration of not only being in school, but also celebrating some sunshine and also America's pastime. That's right, a little baseball from Citizens Bank Park and a little opportunity to get some of the great food here at this yard. It's game one of a 10-game homestand for the Phils. All right, quick glance at the National League East standings. The Nationals and the Mets played earlier today. The Mets won a come-from-behind victory. They're 5 games up, and the Braves and the Phillies sitting at 22 and 23 games back, respectively. Hi, everybody. I'm Tom McCarthy, joined by Matt Stairs. All right, the old saying is that people in glass houses shouldn't throw stones, but the Phillies are facing a struggling Atlanta Braves team after struggling in their own way on the last road trip.
Yeah, the last road trip was tough. I mean, offensively, defensively, pitching-wise was tough. But the Atlanta Braves, though, have been struggling really bad. And, I mean, it doesn't matter if it's from pitching or hitting. You can look at the graphic right here. Since July 7th, the team is 12-41. Now, I broke it down a little farther. The last 20 games, they're hitting .228 as a team. They've only hit 10 home runs. Their OPS is .633. The pitching, on the other hand, has a 7.57 ERA, and they have given up 37 home runs. So, bad pitching, not getting a lot of timely hitting, not throwing a lot of strikes. When they're throwing strikes, they're throwing it down the middle, giving up a lot of home runs. Bad combination, bad pitching, bad offense, a lot of losses.
You know, it's funny, too. When they were 42 and 42, at that point, they were 4 games out in the National League East. So they have lost 18 games in the loss column since that time. All right, well, the Phils will turn the baseball over to Aaron Harang tonight. Aaron Harang obviously has struggled this year, but has pitched well, Matt, against his former team, the Atlanta Braves. This will be his 4th start against the Braves this year. He's 2-0. The Phillies are 3-0. Innings pitched 19, just 2 earned runs against the Braves.
And the numbers here, they're not really different from teams that go back and pitch against teams they played for last year. This outing here against Atlanta, everything was down the zone when it needed to. We had a lot of good movement on his fastball. Aaron's fastball can explode. It looks a lot harder than it is when it's down in the zone because he has late movement. He had a very good slider, heads-up play right here, bases loaded, getting the force out. Good two-seam fastball right then. Again, front door two-seam fastball. His last outing, he threw over 70% fastballs. He didn't throw any cutters. Cutter was his main pitch the first of the year. But now he's going out, he's trying to establish the fastball, getting that late movement, getting the front door sinker to lefties, and throwing the slider to right-handers.
All right, well, the last 2 outings for Aaron Harang, he's had a 5-run lead and a 6-run lead, and he has not picked up the victory in those games. He'll be making his 25th start overall. Meanwhile, Williams Perez, who faced the Phillies earlier, is making his 16th. Lineups at first pitch from Philadelphia when we return. Phillies baseball is brought to you by Xfinity, the official entertainment provider of the Philadelphia Phillies. By Coca-Cola, the official soft drink of the Phils. By Citizens Bank, one deposit checking. Keeping things simple is helping you bank better. By Toyota, where will Toyota take you? Visit buyatoyota.com to find out. Toyota, let's go places. And by Independence Blue Cross, live fearless. Learn more at IBX.com. Has just head out to the mound to warm up, and tonight the Phillies are honoring the champions. Yep, that's right. A number of the youth baseball and softball teams from around the area who have won championships this past year, whether it be the Cal Ripken champions, as you see right there. In fact, there's a handful of Cal Ripken champions from different age groups. That's the 11-year-old division. Here are the 14-year-old Mid-Atlantic representatives, Babe Ruth World Series representatives. And the state champions, the 8 and under state champions. Kids were enjoying themselves out on the field tonight. There were a lot of teams that really did a heck of a job this year in the area, including Brooklawn and American Legion, who nearly went to another American Legion World Series championship. Aaron Harang in his 25th start, 5-14, a 4.89 ERA. He's ready to go. Nick Markakis is about to dig in for the Atlanta Braves. Game 1 of a 10-game homestand, and the first pitch of the night fouled away, and it's no balls and 1 strike. So the scouting report, Matt, on Aaron Harang.
Well, he's a 5-pitch pitcher, averages 89.4 on his heater, and his last start he threw 76% fastballs. It did not throw 1 cutter his last outing.
Yeah, he wound up with a 6-0 lead in that ball game, but then was lifted when the Mets made it a 6-4 game before he had a chance to pick up the win. 1 ball, 1 strike to Markakis, who's hitting .295, 2 home runs, 48 runs batted in. Braves just wrapped up a series with the Washington Nationals, and like a lot of their series recently, it didn't go well. Freddie Gonzalez's team. Freddie's the one standing closest to the stairwell. They have lost 12 straight as Markakis lines one toward the alley in left center field. Odubel knocks it down. Markakis on his way to second. The throw is not in time. And they have scored that a double. Rest of the lineup for the Braves brought to you by Xfinity, the official entertainment provider of the Philadelphia Phillies. Oliveira is at third base. He'll bat now. Then Freeman and Pierzynski. Nick Swisher, the left fielder, bats fifth. Jace Peterson sixth. In the bottom third of Simmons, Bourne, and Williams Perez. Here is Hector Oliveira, who the Dodgers signed out of Cuba this past offseason, but then the Braves acquired recently. He's a big kid, listed at 6'2" and 220. He standing next to him, he looks bigger than that. Made his debut on the 1st of September. Little dribbler foul, and it's 0-2.
They talk about he has some very good power, but the problem is with the swing, it has such a big loop in it that he's either going to hit it straight up in the air, or if he does connect on it, it will go for a long distance. But you saw it kind of watch his setup where his hands are. First thing he does is the whole backside collapses, swings straight uphill.
Inside, 1-2. He signed a 6-year deal. I mean, he's 30 years old, and he signed a 6-year deal. He's not a young player in baseball terms. One ball and 2 strikes to him. And he waves at a breaking ball, so he is struck out. First strikeout for Harang. 1 away.
Now time for the Nissan keys to the game, and key number 1 for me is don't help out struggling William Perez. He's having a hard time throwing strikes. Wait for your pitch and hit it. And the second one is Philly starters have to go deeper into the game. On the road trip, they average 4 2/3 inning per outing. Have to go deeper.
Yeah, with an ERA up over 9. And if you take out Jared Eichhoff, who had the longest outing of any of the starters, the earned run average is up over 11. 1 ball and no strikes to Freddie Freeman. He has a runner in scoring position, and this year hitting .354 with runners in scoring position. And a liner to left field, that's going to be trouble, and it is gone. 2-run home run the opposite way for Freeman, 16th home run of the year. And the Braves jump out to a 2-0 lead.
I kid you not, I was going to write down and another key, 2B. This guy cannot beat you.
It's the only one that you can say in this lineup that has the potential to beat you, I would think.
Especially as well as he's hit. This is a fastball low and away. And we've seen this one many, many times off this bat. He's a guy that just sees the Phillies pitchers very well, and he hits very well in this ballpark. The location. Pretty good location, but look at the head down. Finishing high. It's a powerful swing.
So a quick 2-0 lead for the Braves, who have lost 12 straight. Brzezinski takes a strike. It's 0-1. Braves have lost 12 straight. They've lost 19 of 20, 26 of 28 on the road. And A.J. Brzezinski lofts one to right field. Altair looks like he'll have room. 2 outs. And Nick Swisher's coming up. So the numbers during the 12-game losing streak, 213, only 4 home runs. So the fact that Freddie Freeman has just given them a 2-0 lead has got to feel like the weight of the world's off their shoulders.
Well, it'd be just surprising how many pitches that Freddie Freeman has seen over that losing streak. Especially if A.J. Brzezinski's not playing.
Phillies have not seen Nick Swisher yet this year. Swisher and Bourne were acquired several weeks ago. In the National League, Swisher hitting .279 with 3 home runs. For the Indians, he hit .179. I should say .195.
And if you can't tell, that arm guard is his. If you can't tell, because it says Swish on it.
It does have his name. He's nobody else is allowed to use it.
I'll tell you what, you won't meet a nicer guy in baseball than that gentleman right there. And talk. He gets to first base, he wants to have a long conversation.
He'll be 35 years old in the offseason. A switch hitter. And on the inside corner, strike 3 call. And Swisher's down looking. Second strikeout for Harang. Unfortunately, though, he gave up a 2-run home run. So middle of the first, Williams Perez will have a lead to work with. They've lost 4 straight and 10 of 13. Let's take a look at his lineup for tonight, brought to you by Xfinity, the official entertainment provider of the Phils. Hernandez, Herrera, and Altair, followed by Ryan Howard. Darnell Sweeney starts again in left field. Cody Ashley starts again at third base. He's batting 6th. At the bottom third of Cameron Rupp, Freddie Galvis, and Aaron Harang. And they will face 24-year-old right-hander Williams Perez. 4-6 on the year with an ERA of 5.65. He's given up a lot of base runners in 86 innings in the big leagues. First pitch to Cesar is inside. 1 ball and no strikes.
You take a look at the scouting report. 3-pitch pitcher, average fastball 90.5. Lefties are hitting 314 and right-handers hitting 269.
Phillies tagged him for 9 runs the last time they faced the Braves here at Citizens Bank Park in 4 1/3. 9 runs in 4 1/3, 9 hits allowed. He walked 4. That one's a hot shot back through the middle. A base hit for Cesar Hernandez. That's an 8-game hitting streak for Cesar.
Well, one thing with Williams Perez over his last 7 starts, you mentioned 0-6 with over 9 ERA, is the location right here. This is what he's been getting in trouble with. Fastball right down the middle. He relies on that 2-seam fastball, a good changeup, and a good curveball. But when you're living in that area right there, that's why you're 0-6 over your last 7 games.
And that includes the game against the Phils. In fact, if you don't include that game, which is hard not to because he gave up so many runs, the opposition's hitting 336 against him. Here's Odubel Herrera, who's 7 for 13 against the Red Sox. Breaks his bat. That might be 2. There's 1. 2. Well,
now you could draw the diagram of where he's supposed to be.
Yep.
And where his fastball has to be.
Yeah, that bat is firewood.
But again, that comes back to where we talked about it with the keys. Look at the location. The late movement down. You know he struggles. Go back to the keys. You do not help him out. Get a pitch that you want to drive.
Aaron Altair, 0-1. Altair hitting .250 this year in the big leagues. 2 home runs, 9 runs batted in. One ball, 1 strike. Williams Perez was signed as a free agent by the Atlanta Braves back in 2009. 31-24 in the minor leagues.
You will see a lot of fastballs. Over 72% of the time he throws a heater.
During the 2015 season, Turkey Hill, the official ice cream of the Phillies, will contribute $100 for each Phillies victory and 5 cents for each carton of Phillies Grand Slam ice cream, sold to support the Phillies youth baseball and softball programs. That one is a rocket out to right field. Markakis going back. It's off his glove. It's off the base of the wall. And Altair can fly. He's going to at least get to third on this one. And he is there standing. Well, it's the second triple of the year for Altair in the big leagues.
This ball is smoked, and not very often you see Markakis come that close without catching the ball. But Altair got a very nice bounce off the bottom of the wall, hitting that cement. Just out of the reach right here. Just off the edge of the glove. And he kicks it in. Right there to there, 13 strides.
It's not a lot of strides.
No, it's not. I think it was 32.
I think you would have gotten there, though. You may have taken 32.
I would have stopped at second.
No.
I was a doubles guy.
You didn't have time for triples. Ryan Howard's the batter. Howard 0 for 5 against the Red Sox. Softly out toward the right side. and Simmons throws him out. Well, 2 broken bats in the inning. A couple of hits too. We'll go to the second. It's 2-0. Braves on top. At Citizens Bank Park, Jace Peterson will lead things off. Peterson 236 with 5 home runs, 50 RBIs, and he fouls the first pitch to our left. A little juggling going on. No balls and 1 strike into the sweet level. No balls and 1 strike. Inside, 1 ball, 1 strike. Peterson hitting 173 in his last 28 games. Braves acquired him from the San Diego Padres this past offseason. They were very excited about the pickup. He got off to a decent start, but pitchers adjust to new hitters, and sometimes it takes until the following year for a new hitter to adjust again to the pitchers. That one sits sharply on the ground, a base hit, so he's ahead 1-2. Simmons will be coming up. By the way, the Braves will be in town for the next couple of nights here at Citizens Bank Park. Both of the games are at 7:05. In fact, this homestand has 9 of the 10 games at 7:05. Tickets can be purchased by going to Phillies.com. Day game on Sunday, of course. Here's Simmons, 0 for his last 19. This cat is gifted at shortstop, a .993 fielding percentage, but I think his numbers, I mean, you can look at across the board for the Braves and say, okay, that's surprising, that's surprising, that's surprising. I think his numbers are as surprising as you will see in the National League. The fact that he is only hitting .254 and has just 3 home runs. Outside, 1-1.
Yeah, you would think that the excellent player that he is, tremendous defender, he can hit. I find at times that he overswings too much. Like the first pitch was a perfect ball to hit, and he was really late on it. So I don't know if the thought process is he's thinking too much, sitting on certain pitches.
Runner goes, throw to second on 1 hop, and he is safe at second base. Cesar's wondered if he went off the bag or not. He pointed to the dugout. So right now it's a stolen base. Larry Bowa's on the horn.
It's a strong throw right on the money. He beats the hole. He stays on the whole time with his leg, and his foot stays on.
Yeah, something is on the entire time.
Yep. It was a good throw, a strong throw from Cameron. Peterson stole that one off Harang.
Two balls and 2 strikes to Simmons.
You know, one thing what Simmons doesn't do enough of is bunt. A lot of third basemen play way back. Dang, if I was a middle infielder with not a lot of power.
That one's back toward the middle, off the mound, flagged down by Hernandez. His throw will not be in time, but he just saved a run. However, the Braves have runners on first and third with nobody out. That ends an 0 for 19 stretch for Simmons.
Cesar does a nice job of getting to the ball. But what I'd like is before he turns and throws, he peeks at the runner to see if maybe he was going to be going around third base. I don't think he would have had a chance anyways if. But right there, he kind of peeks at third base. Simmons doesn't look like he feels very good with that long stretch.
Yeah, Terry Pendleton was chatting with him as he went to the first base bag. Michael Bourne in his second go around with the Braves. Pops it up. That's playable in foul territory. Ashe's there. Catch is made. Simmons breaking towards second. Cody did the right thing right there.
Yep.
He wants time, but he can't get time just yet. I'm actually surprised that they granted time before Simmons went back to the first base bag. Well, now Williams Perez.
Now this is a play here where if it's executed properly, it's the sacrifice squeeze.
He bunts it. He didn't have the bat on his hand. The bat slipped off his hand as the pitch was coming in. Whoa.
And then he jabbed at it.
Oh, he's lucky he didn't break his fingers. You know what I mean? The way he grabbed it.
Looks like he wanted to push that to second base.
I think it was what you were talking about. If it had gotten down properly, the runner would have come home from third. Takes in the dirt. 1 ball, 1 strike.
It's tough as a third baseman in this situation because you want to attack the zone. You want to go in there and get the bunt. But the problem is if you start going in after the baseball, the third base coach right there, Bo Porter, will tell the third base runner, follow him. If he keeps on going, you keep on following him.
He bunts it in the air. Oh, Howard fielded it. It's a fair ball. And he tags out Perez. Runner moves up to second, so they'll give him a sacrifice. And there are 2 outs.
Williams Perez was trying to push that ball to second base. Stabs at it. Ryan does the right thing of picking it up, or if you let it go, you have 2 strikes.
And if you let it go and it doesn't, if you let it go past you and it doesn't roll foul,
right?
I don't think the runner would have scored from third, but there's always that opportunity if it got past the first baseman. They'll walk Markakis. I actually wondered about this. I mean, you have a kid who made his major league debut on the 1st of September. Hasn't shown a whole lot just yet against a seasoned veteran Markakis. This isn't a bad idea by Pete Mackanin.
Not a bit. Smart idea.
3 balls, no strikes. It's now time for you to tweet your strongest fan photo. Use the hashtag #PhillyPhotoDataStrongFan, and you just might see yourself in an upcoming broadcast. In fact, Murph saw himself in an upcoming broadcast over the weekend.
Can't believe he sent that picture in and he picked it himself.
Well, he does pull the strings when it comes to those pictures. Bases are loaded now for Oliveira. Swing and a miss.
Yes, Murph.
0-1.
That is not true, fellas. Not true.
I know you were just dying to say something.
Outside, 1 ball, 1 strike.
Good location. Going away. Good fastball. That's what you call as a hitter right there, thinking too much. 2 ball, 1 strike. Got to look heater. Now you have no idea what's coming.
Got him. Same pitch he struck him out on in his first at bat. Braves leave him loaded here in the 2nd inning. No runs, 2 hits, 3 men left. Aaron Harang works out of a jam here in the top of the 2nd. We'll go to the bottom of the 2nd inning. The Phillies trail it 2-0 to the Braves. Live when the Flyers ice goes down, and Mark Eckel discusses the Eagles' preparations for the season opener. Breakfast on Broad, weekday mornings from 6 until 8 over on the Comcast Network. I have known Mark Eckel since 1987, Matt.
Okay.
That's how long I've known him.
Well, you're a little older, Tom.
He's older than I am.
Well, you're both old.
Yeah, he is old. He's full of knowledge, though. Here's Darnell Sweeney. Sweeney 2 for 11 in the series against the Red Sox. Outside and high, 1 ball, no strikes. The Lucky McDonald's Phillies home run jackpot contestant is Nicole Dost of Levittown. Phillies hit a home run in today's ball game, then Nicole win $300. Up the first base line, foul. outside corner, and it's 1-2. Two balls, two strikes. It'll be Sweeney, Cody Ashley, and Cameron Rupp.
Nice job of staying on that changeup.
Yep.
Darnell Sweeney's hitting .229. I think it's the hardest hitting .229 out there right now. He has actually swung the bat very well.
Went back and looked at some of his numbers. Not that this dictates success or not, but he did get a chance in spring training the last 2 years with the Dodgers. He hit .348 this past spring, hit .308 last spring, and he had a pretty good amount of at bats in both of those springs in Arizona.
Well, from the at bats I've seen this year, the 35 at bats, I like his setup.
Swing and a miss. That time the changeup got him.
Yeah, and that's going to happen at times, but he's got a very short swing, compact swing, and a powerful swing.
One away now for Cody Ashley. Cody 2 for 9 on the road trip, getting a chance to play a little third base again. He looked pretty good at third base the last couple of days up in Boston. Made an outstanding diving play to his left. 1 ball and no strikes.
Which could have been the Hyundai defensive play of the game, except for Betts in center field making a tremendous play.
Under the glove of Peterson. And Ashley's aboard. That is the third hit for the Phils. And that'll bring Cameron Rupp to the plate. Well, Williams Perez is a guy, Murph, we've seen twice now. Kind of an interesting pitcher for the Braves moving forward.
Yeah, and it's been a strange season for Williams Perez as well. By just looking at his numbers, he kind of came out and started out just all right. You know, in his first 15 starts, he had 6. He was 6-0. But he had 9 no decisions, and then in the second half, as you guys mentioned, 0-6 and 1 no decision in his last 7 starts. You take a look at the numbers in the second half. The home runs have doubled in his starts, and the opponent's average against his fastball went from 269 to 339. That is not going to get the job done, especially, Matt, as you pointed out, when he throws the fastball about 75% of the time. It has been ineffective. He's also given up a home run in his last 5 starts, so the Phils can kind of hang their hat on that. So it's been a strange season for him. Certainly the Braves are hoping that he can revert back to the pitcher they had earlier in the season.
Yeah, when he came out, not many people knew too much about him, and he was capitalizing on that prospect.
Well, I mean, there's a few reasons why. He's overthrown his changeup. Is he getting tired, trying to overthrow it, and it's just not sinking, or is he just flat out missing? You know, when you're throwing, he's topped out at 93 today. He's had good movement on his fastball today.
He just got Rupp on a check swing,
and that was a very good fastball right there.
Well, they do think that he's part of their rotation moving forward. Now they have a lot of questions, obviously, just like the Phillies do.
And that, as you can see with AJ's reaction, pretty good movement on it, late movement. Yeah, Murph, what's the lottery numbers?
Yeah, Murph, can you get us the Powerball numbers? It's up to $149 million.
Yeah, we're working on it down here together as a group. We're going to get the Powerball numbers. We'll get back to you on that.
$95 million for the Mega Millions. There they are.
I'll take some peanuts from that person singing behind you.
No balls and 1 strike to Galvis. Back to first easily as Ashley. Powerball is going off on Wednesdays and Saturdays, Matt, and Mega Millions Tuesdays and Friday. So if Murph gets those numbers together, we might be able to get up for the Mega Millions tomorrow. There's a liner to right field that'll be in for a base hit. Rounding second and hitting the third is Ashe. Phil's now with runners on first and third with 2 men down, and Aaron Harang is coming up.
It's a good swing from Freddie Galvis. A swing that we did not see a lot of in Boston. It was an aggressive swing. Get the pitch up in the zone and get the line drive to right field.
Well, Aaron has 7 hits this year. He's 7 for 40. See if we can get a hold of one here. Back leg this baby, Aaron.
Just want outfield grass.
Oh, you should just back leg it. That's foul. 1-2.
Murph, is that you singing Cracker Jacks?
Brzezinski lays down some signs before he steps in front of the plate for the infielders in case Galvis takes off. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Harang. There he goes. Pitch is outside, no throw. So stole a base the 9th of the year for Galvis. Three and 2. It's decision time for Aaron Harang with Cesar Hernandez on deck. Back over the mound, and Simmons has it behind the bag. Side is retired. No runs, 2 hits, and 2 men left in scoring position. We've played 2. 2-0 Braves. On to Phillies.com. Go to the fans section for all the information, and please submit your answer on the subject line. All right, Matt, the question is, who leads all active players in career games at catcher? All active players in career games at catcher. Answer will be revealed a little later on. Freddie Freeman, A.J. Pierzynski, Nick Swisher to lead it off. I think Pierzynski's got to be considered for that category.
You would think, but I haven't said this is a trick question.
Freeman, home run. His last time up. Home run number 16. Inside, 1 ball and no strikes. Freeman was 4 for 10 in the series against the Nationals, where the Braves were swept. You see the overship they have on for him. He pulls it into the glove of a leaping Ryan Howard. One away. Big man getting off his feet over at first base.
Good timing. Line drive. Just caught that ball behind him. Vertical.
So a quick out here in the third. A.J. Pierzynski, who's hit in 5 straight coming into this ball game. The other day, he picked up career hit number 1,970, which moved him past Bill Dickey on the all-time hits list for catchers. I mean, if you're a catcher and you start moving past the likes of Bill Dickey, you got to be doing something right. Pops out to short. Bill Dickey finished his career with, and this is incredible, a lifetime .313 hitter for a catcher.
It's impressive.
202 career home runs for the New York Yankees. Yankees at that point who had the ability to really pick up anybody because they had the most money out of any teams and there wasn't the draft to worry about. Bill Dickey, Yogi Berra. I mean, think about the catchers that they had back in that era. Nick Swisher takes low, 1-0. Opposite way, Sweeney on the run. He gets a good jump, tracks it down for the final out, and it's a 1-2-3 third inning for Aaron Harang. Well, top of the order will get an opportunity for the Phillies when we return. They trail at 2-0. .com to find out. Toyota, let's go places. Buy WB Mason. You can't go wrong when you buy right. And buy Chevrolet. Visit your local dealer at ChevyDealer.com. Phillies trail the Braves 2-0. Braves have lost 12 consecutive games. It's the most that anybody's lost since the Astros lost 15 straight. That was back in 2012. They've lost 19 of 20. First time since the Marlins several years ago have lost that many. Cesar Hernandez hits one to the alley in right center field, and he will get a leadoff double.
Cesar is starting to feel good about hitting again. He went in that little slump earlier, but is now back up swinging the bat well, being aggressive. And the key is you're getting fastballs like this, you're not missing them. The only thing missing there was the spot where the fastball was supposed to be.
All right, so that's now 10 hits in his last 27 at bats. So that is a turnaround compared to where he was. And now Odubel Herrera, who grounded into a double play his last time up. Talked to Odubel today. We mentioned yesterday he's up over 300, now at 301 after the double play. I asked him, I said, about being over 300. I said, is that the objective? Is that always your objective? And he said, yes, absolutely. I mean, for a guy like him who's won a couple batting titles in his professional career in Double-A and in winter ball, the goal, even though this is his first year in the big leagues, was to hit over 300. I mean, at one point, I don't think anybody thought he could do it. He was at 243. That was 55 games ago. And now, because he's hitting 367 over his last 54 and a half games, his average is up over 300. Ground ball right side. That'll get Hernandez over to third. And that'll bring Aaron Altair to the plate. Time now for a cold hard fact. It's brought to you by Frost Brewed Coors Lights. Well, the Phils have won 4 of their last 5 games against Atlanta and now are 7-6 on the season series. They're looking to finish above the 500 mark for the first time since 2011. Phillies and the Braves seem to have this sort of back and forth. It's not season to season. It seems to be a couple of seasons to a couple of seasons where one team dominates the other. Altair tripled his first time up. One ball, one strike as he takes a fastball low. Out toward right field. Markakis will settle under it. Tagging from third is Hernandez. He'll score easily. So it'll go down as a sac fly, and the Phils are on the board here in the third.
Nice job right there getting a ball that you can handle to get in the air. Get a sacrifice fly out of it. So nice double. Get him over, get him in. Small ball. Now we just need a blast from the home run guy.
He was 0 for his last 18, so he is due. He grounded out his first time up. It was a ground out to the right side. Andrelton Simmons took care of it. Takes low, 1-0 with a fastball at 93. Ground ball toward the middle. Simmons covers a lot of ground, and it turns out to be an easy play. A run scores, though, for the Phils after the leadoff double by Cesar. A ground out and a sac fly. 3 in the books. It's a 1-run game. Braves on top. Coffee K-Cup pods. Great tasting coffee at amazingly low prices, delivered free the very same day when you order by 11:30. W.B. Mason knocks it out of the park. Who but W.B. Mason? We go to the top of the 4th inning. It's the Braves 2, the Phillies 1. Chase Peterson singled his first time up, was left over third. Outside, 1 ball, no strikes. Well, not too bad so far for Harang, who needed just 6 pitches to get through the 3rd. Aaron, since his return from the DL, was 1-3 with an earned run average of 7.17, averaging 5 1/3 per outing. Two and one, according to Doug Eddings, the home plate umpire. Crew chief is Bill Miller, around at 3rd. Another base hit for Peterson, so a leadoff single. And that is the 5th hit of the day for the Braves. Andrelton Simmons is coming up. Let's check in with Greg Murphy. Murph.
All right, thank you very much, Tom. Well, I'm here with a very special guest. It's Hugh Tompkins. He is the Director of Research and Development for AXBAT, and that is exactly what it is. Tell the folks a little bit about, because you and I have been corresponding for a little bit now about this AXBAT. Tell folks at home what this is all about.
So to understand this product, you have to kind of know why baseball bats have a round handle to begin with. 150 years ago, when they first started mass producing them, the only shape they could cut with the equipment at the time was a round handle. If baseball were invented today, this is what the handle would look like. So this is the first bat handle that's been designed from the ground up for the biomechanics of a swing. And so this is the only baseball handle that's actually designed to hit a baseball.
So and it looks like an axe handle, which makes a lot of sense. So from a safety standpoint and from a swing plane standpoint, you're just saying it's a better feel for the guys?
That's right. So there's tons of performance benefits, more power transfer, more bat speed, but yeah, it has all these great safety benefits as well. It doesn't put the same kind of pressure on the hamate bone and the ulnar nerve as a round handle bat does, so you get a lot fewer hand injuries, also a lot less tension on the wrists, so you get a lot fewer wrist injuries, and that's a lot of where the more power and bat speed comes from.
You know, Tom and Matt, we got turned on to the idea of this because Darren Ruff has been using the AXBAT for some of his at-bats this year, and we've talked to him about it, and he talks about the benefits of being able to get through the zone and kind of keep his swing playing the way he wants it, and I'm sure you love to hear that. Who else in Major League Baseball has been using the AXBAT?
Well, the big name right now is Dustin Pedroia. He's been using it a ton. He started using it and really just caught fire as soon as he started using the bat, and his numbers went way up. Since then, we've had a bunch of guys, about a dozen guys using it, and the company that we license this to that makes Major League bats is actually a local company here in Philly. It's Victus Sports. So they came to us, they said, hey, we'd like to license the design. So they got a lot of players. They make a fantastic bat, so they're a great partner for us to bring this to the pros.
We know that Darren hit a home run with the bat earlier this year. You guys were pretty excited about that, were you not?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. It's great to see all kinds of success with the axe.
Well, it's really kind of a cool concept. And, Matt, I know you have a sample handle up there in the booth, and you and I were talking earlier, and you said this is a bat handle that you would use if you were still playing, would you not?
No, it would be for sure, because whenever I grabbed a baseball bat.
That's a fair ball, by the way, down the left field line. And Sweeney will get to it, but rounding third, heading for home is Peterson. The throw to the plate will be late, and it's a 3-1 lead for the Braves. So an RBI double for Andrelton Simmons, who is now 2 for 2.
Yeah, it's a bat that I would use because I always found that the way you grab a baseball bat is a lot of people will grab it down this way. Mm-hmm. And I find the knob of the bat, when you're swinging, it blocks you a little bit to get to the zone a little quicker. Now what the axe handle does, this is the way I would have grabbed my bat when I was playing. That's the same type of angle I had. So there's the handle, there's my grip. It's almost like you're going fishing. And
right.
All it is now there's no restriction when you go through the zone. You know, where you have that knob of the bat, it kind of cuts you off. Now it's the thing where it just goes through and the bat speed. And I find it is better for bat speed for sure.
Well, it's comfortable if you handle it. It is comfortable.
That's how a lot of guys will get down there and choke that way. This way, all it does is, one, it relaxes your forearms, it relaxes your muscles, and it's just now it's a cast. And that's how the swing is. So I wish you would have had this when I was playing a few years ago. Or maybe it did, and I just never asked about it.
Big comeback.
I'm sure he would like to hear that. Matt said he wished that you guys had this when he was a player. And I know you talked to Jeff Francoeur today as well down on the field. You talked to Darren at length. Were you trying to sell Jeff on the bat? What did he think?
Yeah, we were just showing it to him, and he really liked the way it looked, the way it felt. We're going to make him a bat. Let's go try it out.
There you go. Well, Hugh, thanks for your time. We appreciate it. All the best with the Axe Bat in conjunction with Victus right here in Philadelphia as well. So, guys, we'll send it back upstairs to you.
All right, Murph, thank you. We appreciate that. Jimmy Rollins used that the Axe Bat at one point, and we mentioned this before. He was the first major leaguer to get a hit with the Axe Bat. I don't know if it was the prototype or not, but with the Axe Bats.
Yeah, and that's one thing. I mean, when I talk to kids and do hitting clinics, the key is to have relaxed forearms and relaxed body. When you grab your bat this way, you can tell the forearms get tight. Nice tan line.
Yeah.
All of a sudden now, when you turn your hand a little bit this way more, now everything is looser, and it just feels freer because your bat can go through the zone, and there is no restriction. You have a bat this way, when you swing, there's your restriction. Now all of a sudden, if I turn it, there is no restriction because the wrist can turn more. And that's how you want. You don't want tight. You want this nice and easy because that's where you generate your power to go through the zone.
Well, it makes a lot of sense. Hey, if it's good enough for Dustin Pedroia, people are going to want to use it. Outside, 1 ball, 1 strike.
So like bam, bam.
This is the training bat, the Axe training bat.
But I would use a bat that side in the batting cage.
Right, to train.
To train.
I've seen you do that before. 1 ball, 1 strike to Williams Perez. Sacrifice bunt his last time up. Floats it foul. It's 1-2. Well, Aaron Harang has allowed another run here on 2 base hits. So many different bat styles and companies nowadays. And you would think that the way innovation is, that somebody will come up with something down the road. It could be this that could change the face of, what's utilized. I mean, look at all there are a number of different bat companies right there, and there are a couple here in Philadelphia. You heard Victus, Chandler Bats, very popular bat company, and really good people that is operating right around here in Philadelphia.
Marucci, very good bat.
Yeah, from
very
down in Louisiana.
Very popular bat.
2-2 to Williams Perez. Over the screen. Ran the count to 3-2 before he grounded out. Williams Perez has the count 3 balls and 2 strikes here. Ball was spinning still. Simmons was reading it. He's thinking, I better go. Got him. And he needed to get him too. 2 outs here in the 4th inning. Well, this weekend the Chicago Cubs will be in town. It's a 4-game series. A few good giveaways also on Friday night. It's the Cabrini College knit hat, free to fans 15 and older. Tickets can be purchased right now for that 4-game series by going to Phillies.com. Well, last time they walked Markakis. This time it looks like they're going to work at him in one way, shape, or form.
I like that. Work at him.
A little low. 1 ball, no strikes.
You might see if he throws the ball right here, then they'll go ahead and put him on. Markakis has been around for quite a few years, and he knows when hitters or pitchers are going to go after him and when they're going to go pitch around him.
Inside 2-0. And there we go. I think Markakis is probably thinking, I'm only hitting 297 this year with 2 home runs, but he and Freeman are the best hitters in this lineup.
That's right.
And this young man right here has struggled. He kind of knows that. So ball 4. And here comes Oliveira.
I remember we played in the Red Sox when I was with the Kansas City Royals. We played in Fenway. They intentionally walked Mike Sweeney 4 times to get to me.
Huh.
And I was the 4-hitter and he was the 3-hitter. Yeah, I punched out 4 times.
I was going to say, you made him pay.
Yeah, right. Made him get paid.
In the dirt, backhanded by Cameron Rupp. He had to get to it quickly. That ball is whacked to deep left center field. He's made them pay, and it is a 1-hop off the base of the wall. 2 runs will score. Oliveira will stop at second. It's a 2-run double. And the Braves are now on top 5-0. That's the first big league double for Hector Oliveira. "5-1", excuse me.
Well, we check where the location is. Middle of the plate. Gets a heater up in the zone and gets it about 386 feet away.
And here's Freddie Freeman. Freeman is 1 for 2. He homered his first time up. He's lined out. So it's 5-1 Braves. 2 in the first, 3 in the fourth. Inside and low, 1-0. On the Toyota Major League scoreboard, a lot of finals around baseball today, where the Yankees edged the Orioles 8-6. Greg Bird, a home run, 3 RBIs, the rookie first baseman who's been getting a lot of time because of the injury to Mark Teixeira. So the Yankees, who came into today's action a game and a half behind the Blue Jays, will gain a full game on the Blue Jays because they lost to the Red Sox. Red Sox pounded them today. Jackie Bradley Jr., another big day. There you go. Bradley was 4 for 4. 17 hits for the Red Sox, who, by the way, have now pulled even with the Orioles in the division. There's a strike. 3-0 pitches in there. 3-1. So the standings look like this. The Yankees a half game back of the Blue Jays. Tampa fading along with the Orioles, and of course the Red Sox have been red hot since the 10th of August. 3 balls and 2 strikes. All because of the way they've revamped their outfield. I mean, Jackie Bradley Jr. is a big reason why, but you know, Castillo, Betts, and now Bradley, that could be the fastest outfield that we've seen this year. Ball 4. So Freeman draws a walk. And A.J. Pierzynski's coming up. Well, this has not been a particularly good inning for Aaron Harang. Matt, this is what we talked about. You know, the Phillies are in desperate need for somebody to not only win a ball game as a starting pitcher, but to go deep in a game. The last 6 games, the starter has allowed 31 runs in 29 1/3 innings of work. That equates to a 9.51 ERA. That doesn't count tonight. High fly ball, center field. Herrera comes in. Galvis is out. Galvis makes the catch in short center. 8 men come to the plate. 3 more runs score. 7 hits overall for the Braves. They lead at 5-1 as we go to the bottom of the 4th. Jeff now or visit jefferson.edu. And buy your Delaware Valley Honda dealers. Hurry to your local Del Val Honda dealer or visit delvalhondadealers.com. Well, the Phillies are down by 4 as we go to the bottom of the 4th inning. Williams Perez will face Darnell Sweeney, Cody Ashe, and Cameron Rupp. After a 33-pitch 4th inning for Aaron Harang. Sweeney struck out his first time up. He had a 6-pitch 3rd inning and a 33-pitch 4th inning. Foul tip, and it's 0-1. 91-mile-an-hour fastball there, and it's 0-1 to Darnell Sweeney, who retired on a changeup his first time up.
Not a big fan after the Braves score 3 runs and you get up there and swing at a sinker the first pitch. Just need to work the count. See some pitches. The Braves bullpen has been struggling as of late. Just not a fan of it. We saw it today, the Mets versus the Nats game as well.
Absolutely.
Down by 3 swinging first pitch. There's nothing wrong with taking strikes.
And in that ball game, it was against the Mets bullpen where the Nats were being very aggressive. And what happened was the Mets bullpen turned out a shutout afternoon and won the game for them, basically. Robles, Dario Alexander, Carlos Torres. Familia blew him away in the 9th inning. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Sweeney. Inside 2-2. I think it's like anything else in life. You know, when you're on a baseball team and you're down by 4, you're trying to get all 4 back with 1 swing. Yeah. When you have plenty of time against a team that's allowing 8 runs per game during this 12-game losing streak.
And by no means am I picking on Sweeney swinging at the first pitch, but we've seen it throughout the year, especially when you're down in games. That's where you become more of a patient hitter. 0-0, 1-1, that's simple. When you're down by 4, you need base runners.
Right. And you need to try to get into the other team's bullpen. I mean, that's always the objective, particularly this bullpen.
He's thrown 48 pitches so far and 3+.
Out of play, and it remains 3-2. And he got Sweeney for the second time, and that is the third strikeout for Williams Perez. The most popular way to follow the action of Phillies baseball is with MLB.com At Bat, the #1 app for live baseball. Enjoy live look-ins, highlights, replay reviews, scores, StatCasts, live broadcasts, and more. Get the MLB.com At Bat app now. Cody Ashley singled his first time up. It's a squibber right back to the mound. 2 away. And Cameron Rupp is due up. He's fooling him right now with that pitch. Although that's not the pitch he struck him out with earlier. He had a fastball that he struck him out with.
Yeah.
That was a pretty good curveball right there.
It was. It's only the second one he's thrown. He's basically been fastball, sinker, changeup the whole day.
Hector Neris in the bullpen, loosening up. Outside, 2-2. Ground ball foul. Broke his back, ground ball to third. Olivera is up with it. Side is retired. So the Phils go down in order after the Braves score 3. Well, it's not bring your parrot to work or to the ballpark, but why not? Prior to the start of tonight's ball game, there was a moment of silence for the late Bob Kenny, who just passed away. Bob was a great friend of the Phillies, was an outstanding official scorer for a long time at the Vet and also here at Citizens Bank Park, but that was his part-time job. Bob was also sports editor of the Courier-Post in South Jersey, and as someone who got started as a writer, I know how important it was for people to spearhead the coverage of high school sports, male and female. And Bob was one of those guys, and we just want to send our condolences out to the Kenny family. During this time, and know that Bob's legacy not only touches us here on the major league level, but in an even bigger way touches all of those amateurs on the high school level in the state of New Jersey across the board. Doesn't matter what sport it was. Freddie Galvis corrals that pop up, and there's one away. For a long time, it was Bob Kenny, Jay Dunn, who's official scorer tonight. Once Bob retired, Mike McConey took over here at the ballpark. But Bob has some of the tributes today in the local papers. Phil Anastasia and the Inquirer wrote a great story about Bob and what he meant to him, and some of the other stories that appeared in the New Jersey papers. Really a tremendous tribute to him, and we'd like to send our condolences out to the Kenny family as well. Peterson, who tonight is 2 for 2 with a run scored, takes outside. One of the articles talked about how Mike Schmidt sent him a letter and said, "Thank you for scoring my career so fairly."
Really?
Because he scored, most of Mike's games at home. And how about that? If you're an official scorer, you're going to get a letter from a Hall of Famer thanking him for scoring his career so fairly. It says a lot.
It does.
Because back in the day, players would confront official scorers all the time as Harang takes that line drive off his body. It's picked up by Hernandez. Peterson is safe. Now let's hope Aaron is okay. He looks like he's fine. He's a big, tough dude. I don't know if it hit him in the chest or the hand.
It almost looked like the right arm, the right forearm.
Well, wherever it hit him, he's fine. Simmons fouls it away, and it's 0-1. Simmons also has 2 hits tonight. Outside, 1 ball, 1 strike. Adam Lowen warming in the pen. Out of play. Two outs here in the 5th inning. That's the spot where he needs to be.
Yeah, especially with guys that are throwing 89, 90, 91. So important to hit the glove, hit their spots. Guys that throw 95, 96, they can get away with it more often than none.
Michael Bourne takes a strike. It's 0-1. It is remarkable to see, and injuries have had a lot to do with it, the decline of Michael Bourne as a ball player. Phillies traded him to the Astros, and he wound up with the Braves. I think a lot of folks thought that he was going to have a decent career, but he's had injuries to shoulders, obviously legs too, but it's sapped a lot of his abilities. Foul tip, and he's down on strikes.
I always thought that his career would follow Juan Pierre's career. Same type of player.
Okay. And for a few years, it looked like it might. He goes down on strikes for the 6th strikeout of the night. Thursday against the Chicago Cubs. That's finance and accounting majors. The 14th against the Nationals is sports management majors, and the 15th is journalism, PR, and communication majors. Each event includes a panel discussion with Phil's professionals, special welcome from Pat Gillick or Ruben Amaro Jr., plus more, including power tickets with additional concession value. Go to Phillies.com/college night for more information. Aaron Harang, 5 innings tonight. 8 hits, 5 runs. His night will be done. Freddie Galvis will lead it off. He'll be followed by Brian Bogusevic, who's in the on-deck circle. Galvis singled his first time up. Phillies have 1 run on 5 hits. Shows bunt, and that was called a strike. That wasn't an offer. That was called a strike. 0-1.
That's a pitch right there. We talk about the front door sinker. That's a front door changeup. You cannot pull the string on it. It's hard to. It's almost impossible to swing it.
Freddie has to dance out of the way, but I would think that's a dangerous pitch if it misses its mark.
Well, I mean, it's the same as a fastball.
Right.
If a sinker baller misses its mark in there, the only problem is if you started at a guy's hip with the changeup. Now, I don't know if you meant to throw there or not. But they say the hardest pitch to hit is a straight changeup down the middle of the plate, because you have no idea where to hit it. They always said about Tony Gwynn, how do you pitch him? Throw it down the middle and let him get himself out.
I guess so. Didn't always happen.
No.
But swing and a miss. Galvis just got himself out, and that is the 4th strikeout for Perez. What away. Brian Bogusevic is coming up. Later tonight, catch up with Aaron Altair and Darnell Sweeney, 2 young players who have made immediate impacts since getting called up. Plus, find out why switch-hitting catcher Andrew Knapp has been Mr. Clutch for the Reading Titans. Watch Phillies Clubhouse presented by Mercedes-Benz tonight at 11 right here on Comcast Sportsnet. Well, here is Brian Bogusevic, who's coming off an outstanding year for Lehigh Valley. We saw him in spring training He had a solid spring. In fact, we thought there were a handful of times where we might see him earlier this year. It's not his first soiree into the big leagues. You see his numbers as a pinch hitter. One ball, one strike. Last time Bogusevic played in the big leagues was in 2013 with the Chicago Cubs. And he rips that one to right field. It's deep and it's not coming back. It is gone! A home run, a bullet from Brian Bogusevic. It's his first big league home run since 2013. It's a 5-2 ball game. That was a laser.
That was loud.
Makes a winner out of Nicole Dosta of Levittown, PA. She won $300 in our McDonald's home run jackpot.
Location, middle, and result, home run.
Cesar Hernandez takes outside. September 19, 2013. Off speed pitch. That's got to be a good feeling for him.
That was loud.
Yeah, it was. Markakis wanted to chase it down, but he took a step and stopped. 2-2 to Hernandez. Pretty big swing for that changeup.
It's a pretty good day right there. Pinch hit, home run, grab some pine, watch a big league ball game. What a life.
It's the life of stairs. Cesar tried to check. Did he? Nope. He went around. Second strikeout of the inning for Perez. He's got them fooled with that changeup.
This is a nice swing. Short, compact swing. Wow. Picked up right where we saw him in spring training.
Yeah, he had a good spring. Odubel's 0 for 2. No balls and one strike. He's broken his bat once tonight. He may have broken his bat in his last ground ball too.
What was the step Murph had on Perez earlier? 5 straight starts, the home run?
I believe 5 straight starts is correct. I didn't know if he
Make it 6.
had mentioned it with his changeup, with his numbers from before. Ground ball right side again. Freeman has it. Underhand flipped in time, and the side is retired. 3-1 on the putout. A home run by Brian Bogusevic, his first since 2013. That was a hot shot into the seats and right. It's a 5-2 ball game as we go to the 6th. behind the plate and become a force for the Phillies on defense, throwing out would-be base stealers on a regular basis. Cam has pulled his own weight at the plate as well, hitting .310 in August. His 7 home runs in the month ranked second among catchers in all of baseball. Rupp has stepped out of the backup role and stepped into success as a starter. And it's brought to you by Independence Blue Cross. Live fearless. Hector Neris will be the new pitcher for the Phillies. He'll take over for Aaron Harang. Now, Harang was pitch hit for partly because it was a 5-1 ball game. We'll check and see if it was anything about the line drive that came back and hit him. Hector Neris 2-2 with an ERA of 4.34. And he will face Williams Perez. Braves did have bullpen action, but it will be Perez that will lead it off. First pitch is on the inside corner, and it's 0-1. Two. Ground ball to second base. A little firewood on that one. One away. Swisher, or Markakis is coming up. Let's check it with Greg Murphy. He's got himself a fan photo.
I do indeed, Tom. Thank you. As promised earlier in the game, we have selected the Data Strong fan photo of the game. And today's photo comes from Patrick A. Carney. And he says, this future St. Joseph's Hawk on her way to her first Phillies game. How about that? I know. Tweet your strongest fan photo to hashtag Philly Photo Data Strong Fan, and you just might see yourself in an upcoming broadcast. It's all brought to you by T-Mobile. I will reiterate, I don't choose these photos.
We will give you a pass on that one, Murph, because she is very cute.
She is. I did not choose that photo, and Jeff Halleckman, our producer, is trying to get me in trouble, so I'm going to give out his home phone number on the air later on.
Fly ball to left field. Sweeney is back, makes the catch. Jeff Halleckman, who is celebrating a birthday today.
That's right.
Happy birthday, Jeff. I thought maybe you'd have a photo of Jeff celebrating his birthday, Murph.
I don't choose the photos, Tom.
Oh, okay. I just can't get clear on that one. Happy birthday, Jeff.
Yes, happy birthday, Jeff.
We're honored that you were choosing to spend your birthday with us, because we didn't get you anything. 2 away, and here is Oliveira. Pops it up. Ryan Howard says he has it, and that's an easy inning for Hector Neris. 1, 2, 3 go the Braves. 5.5 in the books. Phils down by 3. Can they make a comeback? Let's see if it starts when we return to Philadelphia. Who leads all active players in career games at catcher? All active players in career games at catcher.
Well, I went through all the teams, and the only one I can think of is number 15, A.J. Pierzynski.
A.J. Pierzynski is correct. 1,857 games as a catcher. Log back on to Phillies.com to find out if you're the winner of a Phillies prize pack. So here are the top 5. I think we forgot about McCann.
Yes.
Kurt Suzuki, I didn't realize, was over 1,000 also. Yadier with one team, 1,427 with the Cardinals. Altair tonight has an RBI and a sac fly. He tripled his first time up. And he's hit by a pitch. It sounded like it hit him right in that elbow guard. It doesn't make it easier, but it did sound like it hit that elbow guard.
Right on the pad.
It wasn't Nick Swisher's elbow guard.
That's solid on the pad.
That was solid, yep.
Still smarts.
Ryan Howard with 50 career home runs, 5-0 against the Atlanta Braves. Hitting .333 against the Bravos this year. He's 0 for 2 though, and 0 for his last 19. Ooh. Not a bad pitch to hit right there.
Nope.
Matt Ryan does not play every day. You were a player who, at points in your career, didn't play every day. And you've had stretches like this. How do you get out of it without capitalizing on repetition and timing and everything else? Is it just
stay with your strength?
Okay.
Honestly, you become more of a patient hitter. You should, because the playing time is decreased. Your timing gets off. More pitches you see, the better it is.
That hit the foot of Altair. He's getting every appendage involved. You know, if you were playing in my backyard when we were like 12 and 13, you would have been out. No balls and 1 strike to Howard. Outside, lays off the off-speed pitch, 1-1. Actually, that registered at 88. That's going to be considered a fastball. It looked like it was fading as it was coming to the plate. Threw him another fastball. That one was a couple miles an hour more.
So that's where it comes back to where you talk about the timing right there. That pitch beat Ryan Howard at 91. He's trying to get his foot down early, extra early, and trying to see the ball a little longer.
Matt Marksberry made his major league debut against the Phillies earlier this year. He is up and throwing. With Altair leading off first, 2-2 pitch.
hang this changeup.
And Howard strikes out. He's 0 for 3. 6 strikeouts. Matt, are you seeing anything great with this changeup? Is it just location more than anything else?
Well, it's this right here. It's down in the zone. He struck out Herrera last inning with the changeup. He struck out Freddie Galvis with the changeup. I think what he's doing is he's throwing it to left-handers. The fastball away. Hitters think they need to get out there a little bit more to cheat to get to it. Pulling the string, and then it's out of the strike zone. That's the key. It's starting as a strike and then going out of the zone.
Darnell Sweeney fires that one foul into the second deck. Down the left field line, 0-1.
Sweeney's first at bat. Fastball away. Kept on pounding them away with fastballs. Then he threw the changeup, same location as a fastball. Of course, a little less velocity, and it moved out of the zone. That's why he struck out and swung and missed.
Runner goes. Pitch is hit in the air to left field. Going back on it is Swisher toward the wall. He has room, jumps and makes the catch. Altair was around second, so he has to go back and retouch second base. Yeah, there are 2 outs. Thought that had a chance to get out of here. Well, this homestand will wrap up with 3 games against the Washington Nationals, the 14th, 15th, and 16th. Next week here at Citizens Bank Park before the off day on Thursday. Tickets can be purchased for that 3-game series right now by going to Phillies.com. What a game today. Mets had a 3-0 lead. Nationals then took a 5-3 lead. Mets tied it up against Max Scherzer. And eventually won the ball game 8-5. Cody Ashley to left field. Swisher will have an easier time with this one. And after the leadoff hit by pitch, the Phillies go down quietly. 6 in the books. On to the 7th inning. Braves still have a lead. It's now 3. You don't want to waste bringing a parent to the ballpark. Phillies got to get some runs going here. We take a look at our Delaware Valley Honda dealers game summary. We go to the top of the 7th inning. It all began with Freddie Freeman's 2-run home run in the first inning. That gave the Braves the lead. They now lead at 5-2. Aaron Harang lasted 5. Brian Bogusevic has a home run for the first time since 2013. So hats off to him. And Hector Neris in the second inning of relief. 1 ball, 1 strike. Inside, 2-1. to the right side, and Cesar in shallow right field throws him out. Phillies baseball is brought to you by Xfinity, the official entertainment provider of the Philadelphia Phillies, and by the Quality Plus Sports Stores. Go further. A.J. Brzezinski 0 for 3. He's popped out twice. He's flied out to the track in right field. That followed the home run by Freeman. Inside, 1-0. How remarkable is it that the Braves were 4 games out when they started their tailspin? Seriously.
Oh, I know.
They were 500. They were 4 games out. They were overachieving. Freddie Gonzalez's team was overachieving for the first couple months of the season. Another pop-up for Brzezinski. This one should stay in the yard. 2 outs. So here are the Phillies and the Braves by month. The Braves 10-12 in April, but then 15-13 in May, so 500 at that point. And then 11-16 in June, and then the spin started in a big way. 10-16 in July, 8-20 in a terrible August, and they haven't won here in September. They traded a lot of guys away.
I would say that AJ is not very happy with that 3-0 swing.
Brzezinski?
Yeah.
No. No, he probably would have preferred to take that one and start over again. Good change up there. Well, 2 good changeups by Neris. Side is retired in order. 6 up, 6 down for Hector. We'll stretch here at Citizens Bank Park. The Phils down by 3. All right, Layla, we appreciate that. The NFL season getting underway beginning this Thursday with the Patriots and the Steelers. Headed into extra innings and need a boost? Call WB Mason, order a Green Mountain Coffee K-Cup pods. Great tasting coffee at amazingly low prices. Delivered free the very same day when you order by 11:30 a.m. WB Mason knocks it out of the park. Who but WB Mason? Cameron Rupp will lead it off here in the home seventh. First pitch from Williams Perez, who's probably on a short leash, is inside. Edwin Jackson is now up in the bullpen. Right-hander, veteran right-hander. That fastball came back. 1 ball, 1 strike. Williams Perez has not won a big league game since the 20th of June. When he defeated the New York Mets, he went 6 innings. The veteran Peter Moylan is now up, and not Edwin Jackson. Strike 3. Rupp struck out for the second time. That's 7 strikeouts tonight for Williams Perez. These lucky fans are tonight's Citizen 7. They were receive a prize pack courtesy of Citizens Bank. Good banking is simple, clear, and personal. That's helping you bank better. Citizens Bank. Roger McDowell asks A.J. Przinsky something before he goes out to the mound. He was clearly asking the veteran catcher something. I'm sure he had a conversation with him before he went out there, so I'm not sure what he would have asked him one batter later.
Yeah, no idea. Unless they're giving the scouting report on Frenchie when he comes up. I don't know.
Jeff Francoeur will be up after Freddie Galvis. There's 1 out here in the bottom of the 7th.
Perez is throwing it and getting on the mound and throwing again.
Well, he's got everything working right now. I mean, he really does.
He has a good rhythm working.
His fastball is being offset by his changeup. 91 fastball, 79-80 changeup. Fly ball, shallow left center field. It is Nick Swisher's call. 2 outs. Jeff Francoeur is coming up as a pinch hitter. Time now for our GMC Precision plays of the game.
Well, we're going to talk about strikeouts. Nice changeup right there. Fastball low and away. Good movement. Comes back with another good sinker low and away. Comes a nice changeup. Freddie Galvis. Hernandez gets a nice changeup on a 3-ball, 2-strike. And finishes off Ryan Howard with another changeup. So very good control of his fastball, and a very good pitch tonight is this changeup.
So those are our precision plays of the game. That strikeout to Howard, he had fouled off a bunch of fastballs, so that seemed to be the reason he was primed for the changeup. And it will be Kratz and not Francoeur. Francoeur took 1 step to the plate. They called him back. They probably want to save him. There's a breaking ball, and it's 0-1. Hot shot over to shortstop. Big hop for Simmons. inning is over. Phillies go down in order. 6 in a row retired by Williams Perez. His evening is most likely complete, as we have completed 7. Great offers on our most exciting lineup ever. ShopNissan.com and buy McDonald's. Double the love at McDonald's with a double cheeseburger and small fry for just $2.50. McDonald's. Loving it. Everybody loves the Fanatic. Doing a little dance. And he's taking Jeff Francoeur's walk-up song, and he's using it to the best of his ability. Here's Jedmar Gomez. By the way, the Fanatic DVD will be given out to fans 14 and under on Sunday. If you haven't seen it, Skip Denenberg is part of it. Fanatic in his one-man band. They'll be given out on Sunday when you come to the ballpark, so come on out. Jedmar's numbers you saw. 2-3 record. And he will face Jace Peterson. Peterson, Simmons, and Bourne. One pitch and one away here in the top of the 8th inning. Simmons now is 2 for 3. He is singled and also has doubled tonight. Edwin Jackson is again up in the bullpen. He's been up, he's been down. He's been up, he's been down. Garrett Rupp hops outside. He'll set up toward the outside part of the plate for this one. And Simmons will line it down the right field line. That's going to be a foul ball. And it remains no balls and 2 strikes. Every time the Phillies pitchers retire the opposition, 1, 2, 3. Comcast will make a contribution to Phillies charities. Phillies baseball is brought to you by Xfinity, the official entertainment provider of the Philadelphia Phillies. Inside, 1-2.
Not a bad idea. First 3 pitches were fastballs away. Throws a fastball inside to move the feet. I like to see him double up the sinker inside.
Well, he goes with the breaking ball outside, 2-2. Now you talk about that, and I know a lot of the burden always, the pitcher could say yes or no to what the catcher says, but that's also part of a catcher deciding what his game plan wants to be.
Correct.
He leaves that one over the plate. He tried to back up another slider, and he lines it into center field for his 3rd hit. So, we talk about a second baseman getting better, a shortstop getting better, a pitcher getting better, but for a catcher, there's getting better throwing guys out. There's getting better at the plate, but there's also continuing to grow calling pitches.
Right.
I think that's why Ruiz was so good. Carlos became so adept at calling pitches and calling a game.
Right, because Carlos knew that he didn't want to get into a routine. You throw a fastball away, then all of a sudden you move the feet, and then automatically as a hitter you think, okay, well, I'm going to look away now for something off speed or fastball. It's almost in that situation where you got to pitch backwards. And I've talked to Carlos about it, and he says he absolutely loves watching Cameron catch. He said, but sometimes he has to think backwards.
Out to right field, Altair on the run, and he makes the leaping grab, and he's going to double up Simmons. What a play by Aaron Altair. A double play to wrap up the top of the 8th inning. You want to talk about athleticism. Oh, man, is that a good play. He got turned around too, but still got to his dominant side to make the grab and record the double play. Play of the game.
Well, we just saw him off the bat of Bohr hitting a missile to right field. Altair does a very nice job using that 6-foot frame. Right there, he breaks nice. He thought he was going to get turned around, but he makes it a leaping catch. And a double play. Very nice play. Got a report on him. He's a very good outfielder. Very quick, gets great jumps, has a good arm. That is your Hyundai defensive play of the game, brought to you by your local Hyundai dealers.
Well, that's as good as you'll find. I don't know if we've had a catch like that in the outfield this year. I mean, just because of the way he was able to gather himself.
Yeah, what I liked about it was that he ran the same way that ball was curving away from him. So instead of turning and opening up, he ran as the ball was slicing towards him, opened up and he ran the same angle as the ball, and having a 6-foot frame helped out a lot.
Well, here's Matt Marksberry in his 19th game, an earned run average of 6.35. He made his major league debut here in Philadelphia earlier this season. Cesar greets him with a fly ball to center. 1 pitch, 1 away.
Well, scouting report on Matt Marksberry. Good fastball, 90, 91, 92. The top of it, 94. Curveball and a change as well.
Double taking all the way, takes strike 1. Colton Murray in the bullpen. Line drive caught by Simmons. Well, the Phillies are wasting no time against Matt Marksberry. So, Murph, you better hurry up with the Major League Notebook.
I will make it quick. It's presented by St. Joseph's University. And former Philly A.J. Burnett is set to return to the Pirates rotation as they start to make some changes to that rotation moving forward. Burnett's going to pitch on Thursday for them, coming off of that elbow injury that he thought may have ended his career, but he is coming back. He will pitch on Thursday. They are going to skip Garrett Cole's next start, which is a growing trend in Major League Baseball. They're going to get him a little extra rest as they make their way towards the postseason. So making a couple changes in their rotation. And I got this little nugget from Justin DeFreitas before the game. Kyle Kendrick, another former Philly, getting the start for the Colorado Rockies today in San Diego. He got the win. The Rockies won that game 6-4, but he hit a bullet. Speaking of bullets, he hit a bullet off of the second deck of the Western Supply Company, or yes, the factory out there in left field. A shot, his first home run of the season. So shout out to Kyle Kendrick for his home run.
All right, very nice, Kyle. We appreciate that, Murph. And you got it done quickly, which is good, because we're quickly done with the bottom of the 8th inning. We'll head to the 9th. Phillies down 5-2. Well, this Friday, the Phillies will be embarking on Game 2 of their 4-game series against the Chicago Cubs, and all fans 15 and older, thanks to the good folks at Cabrini College, will receive the knit hat. It's all part of that 4-game set. Tickets can be purchased anytime by going to Phillies.com. There you see the hat. Cubs are red hot. I mean, red hot. It's not going to be an easy task. Colton Murray, third ball game. 2 innings, 3 strikeouts. What we've liked from Colton Murray is curveball and his fastball, but his curveball's been very good.
Very good. 12-6, sharp curveball. All set up because he has a good fastball.
Yeah, the one run he's given up was a home run. Pedro Siriaco will pinch hit. Shows bunt, bunts it in the air. Rupp will make the catch. What's going on with those one pitch outs? And now Markakis.
Nice job by Neris tonight coming in, throwing 2 shutout innings.
I think he needed that.
I do too.
Just the way he pitched on this road trip. The road trip was not good for him. Oh, 2 pitch coming now to Markakis. Curveball outside, 1-2. .500th career game for Nick Markakis. He's been a pretty consistent ball player during his career. 150 hits again this year. Out to left field. Sweeney spinning around off his glove. The ball was slicing away from him the entire time. And I think peeking at the wall, he may have lost sight of it for a moment. And they've scored that a double. That's the 32nd of the year for Markakis.
Well, this is one thing about playing left field.
Yeah, you've said it's the hardest one of the outfield positions.
That's a courtesy double.
Yeah, it should have been caught.
Should have been caught.
Yep. Here's Oliveira, whose 2-run double is a big hit in this game. Came back in the 4th inning. Curveball, 1 ball, 1 strike. High fly ball to left field. Sweeney on the run back toward the wall, and it is gone. 2-run shot for Oliveira, and it's 7-2 in favor of the Braves. It's 4 RBIs. He came in with 3, and that is his first major league home run.
Well, throughout the night, he didn't look very good on sliders. I got an overhand curveball, knee high.
Boy, he's strong.
Put a nice swing on it.
See Darnell Sweeney's reaction, punching the wall because of his error. It may have changed just the complexion of this inning. Freddie Freeman takes a fastball in the outside corner. 0-1. They had given him the silent treatment.
Not sure if he understands what that means. Well, they say he has thunder in his bat.
He's a strong guy, 30 years old. One ball, 2 strikes. You know, there may be a time in the very near future that players from Cuba do not have to defect, that they're able to come to the United States and play in the big leagues, much like players from the Dominican Republic, from Venezuela, from Canada, from other spots can come to the States and play, and then go back if they choose to. Rob Manfred said that that's what their hope is. Nobody's looking at him at all in the dugout. Nothing to see here. Two and two now to Freddie Freeman.
Well, I think it's a good idea.
Yeah.
Because now you don't have to pay $20-25 million to sign guys and then take a chance on people.
Right. Three and two. Now there's still going to be, bonus money that will be given out to those players unless there's an international draft.
Right.
But for the sake of the players and their families, it'll be a little easier.
I agree.
3 balls, 2 strikes to Freeman with 1 out here in the 9th. Ground ball right side. Cody Ashe is over there. 5-3 on the putout and 2 away. Well, we are in the month of September. It means the minor league teams are getting set for the playoffs, and Phillies will have 3 participating, including the Reading Titans, who will take on the Binghamton Mets in the Eastern League playoffs. The best-of-5 series begins Wednesday. The Threshers' best-of-3 series against Daytona begins tomorrow, and the Williamsport Crosscutters. Boy, it was tough to track this one down today, but they will play West Virginia in the best-of-3 that begins Wednesday. So good luck to all of those teams. They've had great years. Line drive base hit for Pierzynski. It's his first hit. That's a 6-game hitting streak. Nick Swisher is hitless tonight in 4 at-bats. Oh, what a grab. Oh, man. That was a one-handed catch by that guy right there. I mean, smoked. And 2 to Swisher. 12 hits tonight for the Braves. 7 runs on 12 hits. They're trying to snap their 12-game losing streak. They wanted to make sure that they didn't lose tonight, because the last time they lost 13 straight on the road was back in 1935. They played in Boston. We passed their bleachers on the way to Fenway Park. Last time they lost 13 straight overall, home and road, was back in 1977. Ground ball to first. Ryan Howard has it. Side is retired. 2 runs do score, though, on the home run by Oliveira. He has 4 RBIs. So he's had his first major league double, his first major league home run, and he's got a baseball, but he's probably in pain. Roberts, who they picked up from the Colorado Rockies, is going to join the club. Nephew Ogando, who's been in Reading and Lehigh Valley this year, will come up. And David Buchanan will make his return. David this year in the minor leagues, 12 games, 5-2 with a 2.54 ERA. There's a good chance that he will join the rotation at some point. Get a start or two. But we shall see. Could be a long man. So we'll see them tomorrow. You'll see their numbers. David, we knew, was 55. Ogando was 56 in spring training. Well, we go to the bottom of the ninth inning. The Phillies trail at 7-2. Arodys Vizcaino will be the new pitcher. 24th game for Vizcaino. 2-0, 0.81 ERA. Braves are trying to pick up their first road win since August 2nd when they beat the Phillies. They've lost 12 straight overall. They've lost 12 straight on the road. Howard takes upstairs, 1-0.
Vizcaino, very good fastball. As you saw, 96. He will top out at 99. Curveball and a change.
Outside, there's 97. So that's right on target with his fastball.
I like how the scouting report gives you numbers: 96, 99, curveball 83, 86, changeup 90.
90. He will not throw a changeup 89 or 91. If he does, then we're not going to call it a changeup. Two and one. Outside, 3 balls, 1 strike. Markakis is out in right field, had him played perfectly. And 1 out. Well, it's time now for our WBA and deliveries of the game.
Well, we go back in the first inning. Freddie Freeman gets a fastball away from Aaron Harang. It's a 2-run shot to left field. This is a perfect swing for him. In the ninth inning, Oliveira gets a hanging curveball from Murray and hits his first big league home run. And that was a 2-run shot. And those are your WB Nation deliveries of the game.
First major league home run, first major league double for Oliveira. Foul tip, 0-2. Sweetie has struck out 3 times tonight. Krasinski will throw him out. 2 away. Cody Ashley is coming up. Well, this has not been a very nice performance for the Phillies this evening to start this 10-game homestand. Williams Perez has got to be given all the credit in the world for what he's been able to accomplish tonight. 7 innings, 6 hits, and 2 runs. He's in line to get the victory. His first since June. Phillies ball club had lost 4 straight coming in, 10 of 13. And during that 13-game losing streak, they had allowed 63 extra base hits. Add to that tonight the number of extra base hits that they've allowed, and the result is a possible loss. They're down to their final out, 2-0. Basically just throwing fastballs.
He did strike Swindy out on a changeup.
He did.
Well, we can't call it a changeup because it was 86.
No, it's not a changeup, Matt.
Split.
2-2 pitch. There's another split. Coming up after the ball game, Tommy Green will be around to give his full analysis of this ball game. Only on Pure Auto Insurance presents Phillies Post Game Live. That's coming up right after this one is over. Count is 2-2. And a slider hit back foul. We'll be back here tomorrow, 7 o'clock. Aaron Nola is scheduled to pitch for the Phillies. There he is. Outside and low. Outside corner, a call, strike 3, and the ball game is over, and the Braves losing streak is over as well. It ends at 12. Freddie Freeman got it all started with a 2-run home run in the first inning. He gives a hug to Oliveira, who finishes with 4 RBIs. Oliveira's 2-run double, his first major league double, and then later on his first major league home run. But the key tonight was Williams Perez. Fastball changeup tonight, Matt. That's really all he needed to pick up the first victory, his first victory since the month of June.
Yeah, he threw very well. Through 7 innings, he only didn't allow a walk. He threw 7 punch-outs. And I was very impressed today with his changeup. He was spotting his location with his fastball, which had very good movement, but his out pitch tonight was a changeup. Pulling the string, a lot of off-balance swings you can see right here. And then finishing off Ryan Howard with a very good changeup. With a nice 2-seamer right there to Cameron Rep. So he pitched very well. Well-deserved win tonight for him, and that's why he's the Chevrolet player of the game.
All right, so that means the Braves' losing streak is over after 12. The Phils' losing streak is now up to 5. We'll be back to Philadelphia to wrap things up right after this.